Alright, hi everyone, welcome back to Katarina's Garage. My name is Katarina Lloyd, and as you can see, well, we are at the old auction again. So, this place is always awesome, and I actually have keys for a couple of vehicles because my buddy wants me to check them out, and I already see the first one. So, but unfortunately, don't have keys for the other one that's supposedly in here. So, they couldn't find them in the office, so it's kind of interesting. But anyways, let's go see what's up. So, the first one that we actually have keys for is this Thunderbird here, which, not that one. It's gonna be this one here. So, give me one second. So, this is a 1997 Ford Thunderbird, and, well, it's really dirty, for sure. Oh yeah, okay, it's just dirt and whatever else that's just covering it, to be honest. So, it needs a good bath, but it's like a off pearl white by the looks of it. There's a couple little hail dents in the roof. Not too bad though, like you can barely see them. And like I said, just a very, very, very dirty car. Some little scratches and dings and whatever else all along. It's not bad though, honestly, and not really rusty that I can see. You know, let's take a peek underneath for you. You know, this has a 3.8 V6, and actually, so this is the MN12 platform Thunderbird, the second to last generation of these, and these are actually fantastic cars. Now, this one has the facelifted front end. I like the earlier ones a little better, but these are a great little car, honestly, and there's not really much that goes wrong with them, because even like the 3.8s in these weren't actually that bad. It's an LX. You can see the tint is starting to like peel away a bit. You can see that sort of idea. So, you know, again, a little bit of rust here, but not bad. Tiny bit of rust right here as well, so on both ends of the rocker. If we take a look inside, and all right, it's a little tight in here, but all right, and hey, there is a Haynes book in the back, so that's all right. Let's just see. Let's really quick pop the hood. There we go. And it's showing 138,000 kilometers on it. And it definitely shows it. And that's a box for a new mirror. Let's see, is it actually in there? Feels like it is. Yep, brand new mirror in there. That is all right. So cool. That's a little bonus for somebody. If, you know, if they buy this, it comes with a spare one. It's very clean actually. Like even the ashtray, like this thing got professionally detailed by the looks of it before it got in here. No sunroof, but overall very good. So let's go take a look underneath the hood, and then we'll fire this thing up and see how she runs. Because like I said, she is clean, and those seats are super comfy. Like, those are the kind of seats I'd love to have in my truck. Oh shoot, I thought this was a 3.8. Nope, it's a 4.6. It's got a brand new alternator on it. You know, like the wires look fairly new-ish. To be honest, and they're Skoda, apparently, which that's interesting to see over here. For some reason, I thought that said it was a, you know, V6. Oh, there you go. July 12th of 2023, that battery was replaced. So, there you go. Anyways, let's fire her up and see how she runs. Guys, this being a 4.6 is actually kind of cool. For some reason, I just wasn't paying attention to the ad then. Or I might be thinking of the Mustang, because the Mustang did have a 3.8 carbureted V6. Alright, and then let's see. See if the AC works or not. Radio works. Just trying to see if that'll come on. Hang on. Okay, so the AC is working. It's just taking a bit, and then it's also like surging the motor with the AC on, which is actually a common issue with these 4.6s. So I'll just turn that off, and then that should stop surging the motor. Let's just see. Window goes down, window goes up, and quickly too, actually. That one's a little slower, but goes up pretty quick. Let's see. Wipers. Sprayer does work too. Nice. All right, and then now the fun part is see if everything works. So this is what you always want to check too. Make sure all the electronics are working and stuff like that. So four-ways, yep, are working. At least out back. Are they working up front? Yep. Although the headlights definitely need some restoration work though. All right. So stop that. Do signal light. Yep, signal here is working. Also working here. So this is actually a pretty nice car. We're gonna see how it drives around the lot here, and then I'll back it back into its space. It's a little tight, but I'll make it work. So let's see, yep, that one's working. And this signal light doesn't seem to be working. So, all right, little things. But at least the struts actually hold up the hood though pretty well. No belt squeal or anything like that. Hang on. There we go. All right, let's take it for a bit of a burn around and see how she is. Like I said, and any of you that have watched my channel know that I normally am not doing this. So, all right. And yep, the e-brake isn't on. All right, yeah. And then brakes. Oh yeah, she brakes good. Runs excellent. You know, like, this thing is pretty good. And it's just so comfortable, like, oh. You know, I might try and find some seats like this for my truck at some point. Because I'm going to try and put some Fox Body seats in my truck, but man, these are comfy. I'm not a big fan of them being leather though, but that's fine. And yeah, there's just so much stuff here, you know, it's kind of cool. It's like a speed run through here, and then we'll go through the individual stuff a little later. But overall, this feels good actually. So I'd say this is actually a good buy if it goes cheap enough. All right, let's continue on here and see what else we can find in here. And also, I'm looking for 2011, I think, in here. Although, check this out. This is a cool looking square body. Although, a lot of Bondo. Hoo, 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 hoo. Look at that. All of the Bondo. Yep, and you can see the Bondo cracking, and then somebody was trying to do some body work on here, too. Jeez. It's kind of sad that people will do that. Oh, it's unlocked. Well, the glove box door is down, but it's actually relatively clean in here, though. We'll say that. The doors are rusty, but nice little square body. You know, showing about 66,000 miles on it. It's a 74 C10. It's a good looking truck, actually. You know? Let's see. What she got for a motor? Okay, a little small block. Is that a 350? I can't honestly tell. It's probably a 350. Might be a 305. But honestly, pretty good. And you know, mechanical fuel pump up here, which is nice to see. Honestly, I'm a big fan of these, and they're such a cool truck. It's just the only unfortunate part about these. Well, for one, so okay. You want to grease these up all the time because the springs are so heavy that it's very easy to actually bend the hood. And because they have this little crease that's right in this area usually. Oh, right here. There we go. So it'll normally bend right there when those are a little stiff. So you always want to grease them up when you can. Oh, there we go. But overall, very cool truck, honestly. This thing's in fantastic shape. Like, I mean, rough, but good at the same time, you know? Like I said, the box is pretty rough. It's got the spare tailgate, so that's nice. Wood bed floor in it, which, oddly enough, actually, like, they came standard with a metal bed floor, so either that rotted out or whatever else. At least I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong on that. I thought that this is the generation where they came standard with that finally. But pretty darn cool. All right, and I know that my buddy wanted me to check this thing out as well. So I can't remember what year this one is, but it's a tin grill 70s Dodge pickup, and he wanted to know what motor was in it. You know, it's 8 lug, so this is a 3/4 ton or a 1 ton. And it's got the service body on the back. That's all right. It's, oh, there's a thermo quad. Spare thermobog carburetor. So these carburetors, as you can see, they have a phenolic body on them. And it wasn't uncommon for them to actually go wrong. The phenolic body over time will just warp and whatever else and make it run really terrible. Case in point, on roadkill, they called the thermal quad the thermal bog, the only carburetor that punishes you for going full throttle. That was their thing. So, but yeah, then there's a alternator down there. Looks pretty used, but so then judging by the thermal quad in there, this has got to be a V8 under the hood. But is it a big block or a small block? Let's just see. Because I wonder, is there a popper inside, or normally there's not for this vintage, but oh, there's a stick. And yeah, there's no popper inside, so it's out there. Oh, that is a glove box. That looks like the original glove box, actually, for this thing. What did it say? 318. All right, 318 4-barrel. Let's see, 11-inch clutch, NP 435 4-speed. This is the exact same transmission that I have in my truck at home, the Ford F250 that I was talking about earlier. 21-gallon fuel tank. That's all right, actually. So, all right, see if I can get that hood open, because, yeah, it's showing 95,000 miles on it. Hard to say if that's rolled over or not, because it's actually not in that bad a shape. Okay, I can't figure out how to pop the hood on this damn thing, because normally there isn't a pull inside. And my dad had an 81, so obviously slightly different. That's actually when they started calling them the Ram. But it had a little pull here and then the middle, right? Where Chevys would just have the middle, they go up, like you saw me open that square body one up, but I can't figure out how to open the damn hood on this one. So, it's fun. But it's a V8, I'm pretty sure. Well, let me just crawl underneath of it. And let's take a look. Yeah, that's a V8. So, now the big question is, I can't see if the distributor is there. Oh, but nice. It's got new parts, you know, new pitman arm and stuff like that. That's all right. Newer brake lines. Now, this was a little bit of a score, unfortunately. Hole in the fan shroud, that's okay. I don't see a distributor up here, so this is going to be definitely a small block. Probably the 318 that it said it was in the thing. Oh, and it's got Gabriel hijackers by the looks of it. Adjustable. Nice. Air shocks. Those used to be the shit back in the day, honestly. You know, you can ask my dad, like, he's just like, yeah, everybody ran those, you know, whenever they wanted air shocks. Gabriel hijackers were the best. Ooh, check it out. So this is like a 68 to 72, or 67. Correction, a 72. These trucks are beautiful, and I always thought that these are better looking than the square body. You know, it's got some rust. Hey, nice rocker. It's wood. It's locked, but, you know, pretty sure. Oh, no, it isn't locked. Look at that. All right. You know, it's got the little more deluxe interior, which is not much to be fair, but you know, somebody put in a Craig stereo back in the day, full synthesizer and all that jazz. This is a cool truck. Oh. Sorry. Meant to pause that, but alarm was going off. I was making sure that it wasn't from these keys that I accidentally pressed the button on the Ford that I'm going to be checking out. But this thing's pretty cool, actually. I love these trucks, honestly. And they are an absolute beaut. Now, this should just have the... Yep. All right, there we go. Actually, is that a big block? I can't honestly tell. It kind of looks like one, but maybe not. Again, I don't know my Chevy motors all that well. I know what power they can make and stuff like that at times, and when they're on the dyno and stuff, but actually looking at them, I am a little clueless. But looks to be in fairly decent shape. You know, 4-barrel carbon and everything. Nice. You know, electronic ignition box. That's nice to see. But it's not an HEI out back. Nope. You can see the regular coil and all that stuff, so that's kind of unusual to see that. It's not like an MSD box or anything like that. Honestly, this would be a decent little project for somebody. It's not in bad shape. Now check this beauty out. So, this is early to mid 80s, like 81 to 85, 86-ish with this style grille in it. It's got fantastic patina on it. There's no lot number on it, so, but it's back here, and it's got these nice, you know, torque thrust wheels, American torque thrusts. They're a pretty sweet wheel, honestly, with Nokian Hakapeltia, whatever tires. They're 235, 75, 15s, and you can tell they're studded winters, and they got a lot of treads left on them. This bed is in fantastic shape too. Like, hot damn, this truck is nice, and it's a stick. Now, I'm assuming it's the same transmission like the NP435 of the other one. Or maybe not. It might actually have a, you know, an overdrive. But no, it just shows 4-speed. So it's probably an NP435 then. It's showing 46,000 kilometers on it. It's got a little tiny itty-bitty aftermarket tack on it. Which, honestly, that's the kind of tack I need for my truck, to be fair. But, all right. Let's just openly hood. Oh, hang on. Yep, little small block. Now, is it a 318 or a 360? It doesn't actually say on the air cleaner, but that carburetor looks a tad bit newer, or at the very least restored. But like you can tell, that distributor's out back, so it's a small block. Distributor up front means big block, right? So this thing is in pretty good shape. The valve covers are leaking a bit, but you know, not in bad shape at all. God, I love these trucks, but they have the same problem with the square body. They ride like a brickboard. But oddly enough, these don't have the same problem with their hoods bending. Oh, and the Ram's horn is now... I just barely touched it, and it did a 180. That's funny. All right, let's go find this Ford truck that he's after. Now here we have a S197 Mustang. This is the 5th generation of the Mustang. To be honest, I'm a big fan of these. This one's an automatic. And, you know, like, I kind of want one of these early ones at some point. And judging by its only single exhaust, this is going to be the 4-liter V6 in it. And, like, someday, because I want to build a car from Need for Speed Most Wanted in 2005. And that vehicle that I want to actually build is Jules's Mustang. So it's like, it's, you know, a copy of it, right? So which is pretty cool, because you see people build Razor's Mustang from that game, but you never see that. So someday I'll do it. All right, and this truck, this is the truck that my buddy's interested in. So it's a 2011, I believe it was, with the EcoBoost in it. So this will be the 3.5. So this is still the steel body, not the aluminum body. And, well, there you go. That's kind of funny. The tires are age cracked a little bit, but they're still okay tread on them. Not amazing. They're clipping a bit though on the sidewall here. So, and it's got these sort of cheapy aftermarket wheels on it, but they work. Honestly, it's not too bad. You know, it's not really rusty though. Like a little bit starting in some spots, but nothing that's through at all. Let's see. Oh, try this one. Okay, so the one that's really wore out is the one that works. This one doesn't. For the keys. But, alright, it smells like one of these generations of these. It's got a spare oil filter. You know, in here, it's showing 345,351 kilometers on it. This will probably be a decent little truck, actually. Let's take a look. Where can I find the hood release? There it is. Because again, I've driven one of these trucks, like, because my buddy Keith actually has a 2014. All right, let's see what we can find. All right, here's a little 3.5 EcoBoost. You know, it's amazing how much room there is with these in there. Well, that's the one thing I forgot to pull the dipstick on the T-Bird. Ooh, she's black as sin. So this thing should have an oil change relatively soon here. Which these things actually take a lot of oil, so oil changes can be a little bit pricier on these. But, and also something that you want to be aware of is the turbos on these, because they actually were famous for actually going out. So, and I wouldn't be surprised with this many miles on it that those turbos have gone out and have been replaced already. But let's just see. Jeez, and there was somebody really tiny in this truck. Oh, what the hell was that noise? It's got an exhaust on it. Or, well, I say exhaust, there's no muffler. And there's a good amount of smoke coming out of that, which is disconcerting. But as you can tell, they were off-roading it and haven't cleaned it. So, and yeah, that noise on startup was very concerning. But it sounds decent now. Let's just see. I'm not going to drive this one completely around the yard like I did with the T-Bird, but I'm just going to see. Does it go forward and back? Decently? Oh. And also there's some random screws and an Allen key and stuff like that in there, so let's see. Window goes down automatically. Comes up automatically. Goes down. Comes up. Goes down. Oh, completely nice. Comes down. Goes up. And then you have the, you know, what no way sticker and but did you die? So memester. All right, that works. And it is 4x4 and stuff like that. And it says tire pressure is low. Okay. I'm trying to press. Oh, okay, it's over here. All right. And it's a 6-speed in this one. Ooh. Okay. Touchy brakes. Which, that's most newer vehicles, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, Seems to move okay. Oh. All right. There we go. That's all right. To be honest, I mean, like I said, that startup noise was disconcerting, and how much smoke I was seeing underneath the car. Like, I shouldn't see that, but this depends on if Keith wants to go for that or not. But other than that, it actually seems like in decent shape, but I don't know, definitely concerning, I'll say that. It's kind of funny, this episode is just like all trucks besides that T-Bird. I swear to God, because there isn't too much else. Oh, it's 3+3, here we go. A 3+3 dually. This is a big ass truck. So these were sold from start of the square body in 73 or 74. Oh, it's locked, but not fully latched. Let's see, are any of these doors unlocked? Nope, they're all locked. But these were made, actually it's interesting, the 3+3 was made from 1973 until 1990, no, yeah, 92 I believe was the final year, in the 1 tons. So, and this one, like I was talking about, the hood is bent exactly where they all bent, because those springs are too heavy and somebody didn't grease them properly. So it's unfortunate, but that's how it goes, right? This thing though, not in terrible shape actually. It's pretty cool. But you know, and it's a camper special, so this probably has a 44 under the hood then. Good chance. I don't want to pop that hood because I don't want to bend the hood even more. I mean, not that I'm going to hurt it any more than it already is, to be fair, but just in case. Because it could be rusty and whatever else, and just want to be careful of that. Paint is peeling a bunch on the roof, and there actually is Bondo on the roof. That is Bondo. So, what fun, what glorious fun. But overall, pretty darn cool. Here we go. Here is about a 2008-ish STI, and okay, you see the Cobb thing on there, that probably means it's got some performance goodies too. So Cobb is an aftermarket company that specializes in like the Subarus and whatever else. They do other vehicles as well, but this was a kind of a more hated generation of the WRX STI, because the thing is, here in Canada we love hatchbacks, right? But in the US, these didn't really catch on all too well. Now, there was one in Fast and Furious, the 4th movie, where they went to where they were chasing down Braga and all that stuff, right? And Brian O'Connor's second vehicle that they stole out of the impound yard was one of these. It was customized, so they're kind of neat. I don't really know much on them, but they're cool. And like I said, with Cobb, that might be tuned quite a bit, and sometimes you want that, but sometimes you also don't. Like, it can be kind of iffy, but pretty darn cool. And here we go, I walked past this, so this is an F250, and it is a brick nose. There's also another brick nose over there. So this, and this being a 4x4 and stuff like that, this is 80, what is it, 87-ish, I think. But they're pretty cool. These are kind of the unloved child of the Ford truck family. You know, everything else gets the attention, but these typically don't. Although, that does say diesel on it. So does this have the 6.9? Probably does. Let's see. Not that I actually know what a 7.3 or 6.9 looks like, but... let's see. Survey says, what does the sticker say? 7.5. 7.5. Oh, that's 460. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, 460 gas motor. Honestly, there is some mouse nest and whatever else in this one, so, you know, you might want to be a little careful buying this. But these are, I always say these are your best bang for your buck when it comes to big blocks, because people want way too much money for their 454s nowadays. But these 460s are like a dime a dozen in a junkyard. You know, you can pick them up out of any like full-size Lincoln or Mercury or something like that from the 70s, and it doesn't take a lot to make it make, you know, 4 or 5, even 600 horsepower, to be honest. So yeah, they're very slept-on motors. They really are. But other than that, I think that'll about wrap up this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Honestly, it was really fun to come out here. And you know, I was trying to do another video, but then the thing I was sent was not working very well, so I emailed the manufacturer and be like, hey, what's going on with this? So anyways, thank you all for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, your family, your cat, your fish, your dog, you know, all that different stuff, right? You know the whole spiel. Use my links down in the description below. One's for Flash Shark Racing, the other one is for Oxido. Flash Shark Racing does mostly like headers and cold air intakes and stuff like that. They also do some LEDs and some other automotive accessories. While Oxido is mostly LEDs, and they're actually really good. I have some Oxido LEDs in my car, and they are fantastic. So, oh, really quick, actually, here we go. A Suzuki Jimmy, or SJ410, you know, same thing though. This is really cool, and ooh, like a samurai sort of idea, but it seems to have some holes. There's some holes. It is a stick, and look at the weird, what is up with that stick shift? That is weird. With that like pipe fitting, sort of, to take it off to the side. That's bizarre. But this is cool as hell, and I've always liked these little things, and they were very popular back in the day to go off-roading in, but yeah. This is awesome. And I'd own one of these, definitely. Although the roll cage is not exactly very good. That's going to collapse on you if you roll over in this. But, good little project for something. Anyways, so use my discount codes KAT15, all in caps, down in at checkout to receive 15% off both websites. So again, that's KAT15, all in caps. I have the links down below. So anyways, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you next one. Peace out.